Hey everybody, it's Wendy. Welcome. Today I have a really fun little treat box for you, and I got the idea out of August's Stampin' Anonymous tutorial bundle. So this is a 26-page tutorial bundle. You can either purchase it for $9.95 or you can get it completely free when you place an order with me. So any size order will get you this tutorial bundle free, and the link is below if you want to purchase the bundle. Okay, so the box I'm making will use the Will Walrus Be Friends stamp set, which is I just love it. I just love it. It's one of my favorites in the annual catalog. We've got some cherry cobbler seam binding ribbon, and we're using some Follow Your Art Designer Series paper and the Simply Scored and my Take a Pick tool, and all of these items are listed below the video if you want to purchase any of them. We're starting out with a piece of Designer Series paper cut at 6 5/8 by 10 inches, and we're scoring on the 6 5/8 side at 1.5, 3, 4.5, and 6. And then we are going to turn it and score at 3/4 of an inch, 2 1/4, and 6 1/2. Now, for your convenience, I have created a PDF with all the measurements and information as a free download on my blog. So if you want that download, you can click the link below that'll take you to the blog post, and then you can download it from there. So please just know that it's just a free download. It has a photo with all the measurements. And then this part is the kind of tricky part. So I felt like that's kind of why this project needed a PDF, was just because there are some areas here where you do the trimming that are a little complicated. So the first thing I'm doing is folding on all the score lines, and I had a really hard time seeing the score lines with this paper, so I actually had to turn it over and use the side that was going to be the inside. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you want to trim away basically this very last square that is kind of meeting up with the little tab piece that's going to close your box. Okay, so that just needs to be completely trimmed away. Then you're going to trim in on all the other score lines for the top of the box, and on two sides you're going to need to cut them shorter than the lid. So the one we've left really long is the lid, and it's going to tuck into the box. These little pieces here are cut shorter and then angled in so that they will fold in on the top of the box, so that when your lid folds in, it stays in place. And you'll see what I mean when we get towards the end. So anytime you're watching a video that is a box or a 3D item, I always recommend watching the video to the end of the making of the box, so you kind of have an idea of what's going on, and then grab your paper and re-watch the video and follow along. So I don't know if that will help you, but that really helps me when I'm doing this kind of stuff. So then I'm trimming in on all four tabs there at the bottom, and that is going to make the bottom of my box. The beauty of this box is you only need adhesive in two places: on the tab piece that you are going to use to close the box, and then on one square of the bottom of the box. So you're going to see here where I put all of those pieces together. Now, I labeled this video The Rest of Rome as my story time, and so I'm going to get into that now that I've shared all the information about the box. And if you want any of the supplies, you can click the links below, and if you need written instructions on how to make this box, they are listed below. So we are going to, and I should say that this box is inspired by the Stampin' Anonymous tutorial bundle, but it is not the same. So it's important to know that. This is not going to be the same as the one in the tutorial bundle that was caused the inspiration for this one. So it's similar, but not the same. So if you do get the tutorial bundle, it'll be different. Okay, so we're going to finish up this box with decorating and stuff. And while we do that, I'm going to have a little story time. So I shared about the first day in Rome, and if you did not get to listen to that or see that, then I would encourage you to watch it, and the link to it will be at the end of this video. I'll make sure to link my first day in Rome. So I'm not going to go over any of the stuff I've already talked about, because if you follow me and you already know. So we're just going to jump into the next day in Rome. We wake up and we decide, we have plans on, and it happens to be the 4th of July. Okay. So I was actually a little tiny bit melancholy that I wasn't in the US, just because I've always celebrated 4th of July with my family in the United States. And I've never been out of the country during the 4th of July. And I thought it was a little odd to be in another country and not with my family, but that's okay, because I knew I was going to have an amazing day, and that I did. We went to the Colosseum first, and we got to explore the Colosseum, and we had an amazing tour guide there who gave us so much information, more information than I'll ever remember in my life. If you've never been to Italy or Rome and it's on your bucket list, I highly recommend doing it, and I highly recommend visiting the Colosseum. And if you go in the summer, go in the morning. So we read our Rick Steves books that have all the tips and tricks about traveling to different areas. And one of his tips was to visit the Colosseum in the morning. And he was right, because it was hotter than Hades. We were sweating like a sinner in church, let me tell you. And so I can't imagine going on a tour in the middle of the day there. It was so hot. And really, some really cool things about the Colosseum, and I'm only touching on a couple, but I thought that the steps were really interesting because they were really big. They're like bigger than a normal stair. So for me, I'm really short and little, and so each stair I felt like was its own aerobic workout. And I was thinking, were these people huge? Because I feel like the more time has progressed, the larger we've gotten. So in my head, people that lived in ancient times were much smaller than people now. And I've always kind of heard that, but you wouldn't know it based on these stairs. I mean, these stairs were like serious stairs, people. And just the whole thing of the Colosseum was amazing. One of the things that stood out to me is that, you know, with all the Hollywood movies and stuff, and they make it out like gladiators fought to the death. And actually our tour guide told us that that's really not true. That a lot of times the owners, so gladiators were slaves, and they were put in the arena to fight each other. And the tour guide told us that oftentimes Franco, let's just call him Franco because that was his name, so we are going to call him by his name. Franco told us that a lot of times the owners would stop the fights before the person got too horribly bad, because basically if a gladiator died in a fight, you lost money. Like the owner lost money because they couldn't fight that person again. I was really taken back by how scary I felt like the Roman people were during that time. You know, just with all their history of the persecution of Christians and stuff like that was very, I had no idea. And like he shared with us Nero, how crazy he was and how many horrible things he did. And so yeah, so I was just shocked. The history part of it for me was amazing. Then after we visited the Colosseum, we went in the afternoon to the Vatican, which was also going to St. Peter's Basilica, which is in the Vatican, which is where Peter was crucified. So that was really special and precious to both of us. And I learned there, I didn't know this, that Peter was actually crucified upside down because he didn't feel worthy to be crucified in the same manner as Jesus. I had no idea about that. So we learned that, and then we got to be in there, and it just happened to be that Mass was taking place during the time that we were in there. And I am not Catholic, but it was very, very moving. I just felt you could really feel the Holy Spirit there, and peace and calm. And, oh, I have to tell you this. So before we got to St. Peter's Basilica, you go through the Sistine Chapel. And first of all, can we just have a moment of recognition of the absolute brilliance of Michelangelo? I mean, I've never seen anything like that in my life. It was incredible. And so for those of you who don't know, Michelangelo painted the Day of Judgment in the Sistine Chapel, and he painted like this, I don't remember the name of it, but like on the ceiling, he painted like the 7 days of creation, basically, in essence. And so anyway, it was incredible to be in there. However, my cousin and I both were absolutely shocked at how disrespectful people were. We were told by our tour guide that when you got into the Sistine Chapel, you were not to speak. You were supposed to be quiet. There's absolutely no photography allowed, and you are not supposed to make any noise. It is a place of reverence, and you're supposed to be quiet. And in addition to that, I'm guessing the less people that talk in there and take up airspace, maybe it has something to do with keeping the paintings in better condition. But at any rate, I couldn't believe how many people were talking, and there was like a low roar of whispering and talking. And then we look over, and there's some ding-dongs making out in there. Gross. Come on. You are in such a... Can I just say, like, oh Lord, here comes her soapbox. I'm getting on my soapbox. Like, do we have no respect left in this world for things of, like, beauty and things that are supposed to be in high regard? Like, this place is a high holy place, and there's people acting a fool. I was so disappointed in humanity, and I don't know what nationality they were or where they were from, like, but it just was shocking to me, because I mean, my cousin and I were both moved to tears in multiple locations, and there were young women walking in short shorts and tying the little scarves around their waists to, like, cover their legs, because you're not allowed to be in the Vatican or in the Basilica, St. Peter's Basilica, without covering your shoulders and covering past your knees. It's a sign of respect, and it is required, and it is announced everywhere. Like, if you missed that announcement somewhere, I don't know, you are living under a rock, because it's posted on everything, every little piece of research. By the way, going to this box, the buttermints, you guys, I have so many of them. So I'm filling this up for my friend Laura for her birthday. She doesn't like chocolate. I know. I don't know what's wrong with her either. But I'm going to put these in here for her, along with her other gift, which is going to be a bottle of my wine from Italy. In Italy, I was able to get a few bottles of wine shipped to me, and they are really amazing wines. So I haven't even opened one yet. I've had them for probably over a week, because I'm waiting for just the right moment to share a bottle with somebody, or with having like a dinner party. I only drink like a glass of wine, sometimes 2 glasses, but that's really pushing it. Usually it's a glass. And so I don't want to open it until I have somebody to share with. So I'm going to give her one of my bottles, and yeah, it'll be fun. Okay, so there's her finished gift. So I guess I didn't get through the rest of Rome, but I got through the best parts of Rome. So I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, after we did the Vatican and stuff, we went out to eat in Trastevere, which was amazing. And we had just a lovely experience the whole time we were in Rome. Thanks for tuning in. Shop with me at Shop Love and Stampin', and you can click on either one of these videos that you see here to check them out. And you can click on the circle with my face in it to subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Bye.